Alright, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On the day this is being recorded, it is Friday, September 19th, 2025. It is just almost 6 o'clock. Afternoon, night, whatever you want to call it. It's roughly around 88 degrees, and apparently we're in the middle of a drought because we haven't had. It's honestly been. It's probably been a couple weeks since we got any substantial rainfall. But yeah. So, here's the thing. Many of you know that I work at the hospital. And I've been working out at the hospital since around Election Day, 2022. You know, for the midterms, for the midterms of 2022. You know, when Biden was president. But, you know. Alright. But, anyways. Sorry, I had to pause the video because walking past an old buddy of my dad's. But, anyways. Yeah, I've been working at the hospital for almost 3 years now. At the time this being recorded. Well, it will be 3 years in November. And, well, let's just say that I kind of finished a resignation letter. Not for now, but, you know, probably within 2 years' time, I should say. Hopefully I'll hold on to it until then. But yeah, I think it'll be best if you know. And well, a lot of you guys may remember, maybe not, that I want to be in politics as a career. Which is a very, very long road ahead of me, honestly. And, you know, always for something that big, because, you know, I want to be in Congress, end up. at some point in life. But, you know, when a goal that big, you know, you gotta start small. And, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And, you know, I've been cooking on this idea for a very long time. At least pretty much after, you know, I mean, technically since, like, my senior year of high school, if you want to be technical. So for at least the last 7 years. But, you know, in my senior year, I was technically considered a quote-unquote adult. Because, you know, I was 18 the summer going in between my junior and senior years of high school. Let's see here. And, according to, the laws for the state of Ohio, you could run for any, local or state office as early as you turn 18. So I could run for technically any form of office that my hometown had to offer or that the state of Ohio could offer. So that ranges anything from pretty much it can be as low as like a city councilman from my hometown, all the way up to the governor of Ohio. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then when it comes to some of the federal level stuff, all that, you know, age requirement stuff is, you know, obviously listed in the Constitution. And as of right now, at the time this is being recorded, in mid-September of 2025, the highest office that I can technically run for legally is, well, I could technically run for Congress, i.e. the House of Representatives, because according to the Constitution, you have to be at least 25 years old, which I am currently 26 at the time that's being recorded. I just turned 26 3 months ago. You have to live in the U.S. for at least 7 years. I lived here my entire life, so we're good there. Born and raised. And you have to at least live in the state that you are going to represent. You don't have to live in your district, you know, for Congress. But as long as you live in your home state for at least 7 years, then you're fine. So even though I live in Ohio's 4th, I could run for Ohio 15th if I wanted to. Just gotta live in the state that you want to represent. The next highest to, you know, legally run would be the Senate, which according to the Constitution, it's pretty much the same thing, although it ups it a little bit. If you want to run in the Senate, you have to be at least 30 years old. I will not be 30 until 2029. Yeah, that's when I turn 30, 2029. Oh God. Oh God. It's fast approaching. You have to live in the U.S. for at least 9 years. And you, once again, have to live in the state that you're wanting to represent. So more or less the same rules, just gotta live in US for a little longer, and you have to be a bit older. And then obviously the highest office, obviously President of the United States, which, you know, obviously according to the Constitution, which is funny because out of the three main requirements, at least the one stated in the Constitution, I am technically eligible in two of the three main categories, at least two of the three main requirements. You have to be a natural born US citizen. The only thing is that with that one, you can be born abroad, but at least one of your parents has to be a US citizen, either through natural birth or through the naturalization process, i.e. the immigrant, process or whatever. You have to be 35 years old, which I will be in 10 years. It won't be until 2034 when I'll be old enough to run for president. And you have to live in the US for at least 14 years. And like how I said, I was born and raised here. Born in America, raised in America. The only country I've ever lived was America. And I've lived here my entire life, in this country, in this state, and more or less in this city. So that's a triple whammy. Only thing I don't qualify for president is my age. In which technically the first election that I could technically run for president will be in 2032, which is 2 presidential cycles from now, which is kind of interesting. So with that in mind, I may have kind of spelled out my plan a little bit on how I want to fully, do this and pull it off. So I'm going to try to run it through real quick, and then I can get on to the main point and topic. So I have a friend that I've known since high school. He is currently running for the city council in the 6th ward, which is, if I recall correctly, this is the ward that I'm currently walking in right now. He's running for the Democrat for that seat. But yeah, I'm watching his election kind of close because the original plan was, if he wins, I will start launching options on how I should get in. But instead, I'm going to do it that regardless on if he wins or not. I will explore options to run for political office myself. Because, well, here's the thing. If he's elected, he would be the first Gen Z not only in the city council, but for the city government, which is kind of cool. But, you know, if he doesn't win, then the first Gen Z in the city government would be, you know, it'll at least be pushed back by at least 2 or 3 years. Although it could have been me back in October. So it kind of leads me to what the main point of the video is. Based on my address in my hometown, I could technically run for, well, I mean, I could technically run for any city office other than the other 5 wards. But my political career, I want to focus on the legislative branch. And on the 10 possible positions for the legislative branch, which 9 of them only have voting power, I could run for 2 for voting power and 1 for, you know, no voting power. So for the non-voting power, you have the president of the city council, which, yes, is an elected official here in town, but they have no real power other than they're just really the presiding officer. I mean, I guess you could say that they're like the speaker in a way. Or the president pro temp, or like the vice president, which is, you know, president of the Senate. I guess you could technically call it that. But yeah, I was kind of cooking on this idea a little while back that if I wanted to run for that position, I can serve as, you know, president of the council for maybe at least a term or 2, so at least 2 or 4 years. And then from there, you know, since I got my toes tipped into, you know, the political scene a little bit, I could run for like the city council for a while. Now I can know what's really going on and then have a strong opinion on, you know, what's going on. Now for the 2 other positions I could technically run for with voting power, let's get the easy one out of the way. Councilman for the 5th ward. Basically they are like my own personal like representative. In city council. So if you want to take it in like Congress, they're like my representative. The person in the 5th ward is the main person that represents me in city government. I don't know where the hell he came from. He zoomed right around me, but whatever, I guess. Should probably get ahead of this guy too. So I'm gonna do that here real quick. But yeah, that's position 1. Okay, so position 1, president of the city council. Basically just the presiding officer. Like, you could call it like the speaker of the council, or like how, like, it could be like the speaker of the House in Washington, or it could be the vice president as like president of the Senate. Although I'm not entirely sure that they have any unilateral power, other than the fact that they're just more like a figurehead and just presiding officer. Position 2 I could run for. Councilman for the 5th Ward, which is, you know, think of the wards as like congressional districts. My hometown is split up into 6 wards, so we technically have 6 main representatives in city council for different areas of town. But yeah. Oh, let's see here. Of course, it's like bloody train. Okay, well, that's just nice. But yeah, councilman of the 5th Ward is, you know, my ward that I live in, and that is the, you know, like my representative in city council, like primarily representative. Okay, it's a 1 engine, so it shouldn't last too long. Now, right now it's currently held by Republican. Which, by the way, all 3 possible positions I could technically run for in city council, like in terms of legislative branch, are all held by Republicans currently. 2 of, at least a good majority of them, are running for re-election unopposed. So, yeah. Plus, a lot of the council members are running unopposed for re-election, or just decided to, you know, step down after a while. Probably because they had enough or something like that. But yeah, that's position 2. Now, position 3 is a little complicated because they're known as at-large council members, meaning that they represent the entirety of the city. They're kind of like the Senate in a way. I guess you could call it that. What the thing is that there can be, you can have like 4 or 5 people on the list for being elected. But in order to be solely elected to that position, the candidates with the top 3 most votes get elected. So, yeah, which is kind of cool. So my point is that I want to run for either one of those positions for the next election cycle. Which after this year, the next possible cycle for the election will be 2027 for the city council, which is also when we vote for a new mayor, if needed. I don't know if Mayor Collins is wanting to run again for re-election, but I do have to admit that Mayor Collins is he's doing a hell of a job. I do have to admit. He used to be police chief for a while, until he retired or something. I don't remember actually. I wonder how far down it is. I can't even tell how far down it is. But yeah. And so my original kind of plan was that I was gonna run for council president for a term or 2. Just, dip my toe in the local politics. That way at least, get my name out there. And from there, I could serve 2 or 3 terms in either or councilman for the 5th Ward or at large. So that's at least 4 or 6 years. So I could potentially run and be in city council for, in my mind, at least no more than that'd be 8 terms total. So that'd be what, 16 years? So yeah, I could serve 16 years in city government. And then maybe, just maybe, spend a couple terms, at least maybe 2 or 3, in Columbus at the State House, be a state representative, and then hopefully from there, go into Congress. and maybe, just maybe, serve in Congress for a little bit, in the House. Maybe find a way to potentially run for the Senate. And then maybe run for president. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I could be the second president to come out of my hometown, because the first was the 29th president, Warren G. Harding. I mean, hell, my alma mater was named after him. Oh, cool. Train's over. Now I don't have to yell. But, yeah. Now, I do kind of have a little bit of political experience, not necessarily in a politics type sense, but I have had some kind of position, for a while. Like I was class representative for my graduating class, because when everyone was doing class elections, I knew there would be a lot of people running for president, vice president, treasurer, all those main positions. So I pulled a big brain moment. I was like, well, if everyone's going to run for these positions, I'm going to play it smart and run for class representative. Which, when we got the ballots, you want to know whose name was on the ballot for class representative? Me. So I was the only person on the ballot for class representative. So with that, I was like, oh cool, I won by default. No contest. That's kind of funny. It's not like the announcer on Smash when you decide to quit and no contest. That's actually kind of funny. The perfect timing of that. But yeah. Hello, county, our party headquarters. Wait, what? Okay, that was weird. So yeah. So the thing is that I think it's a pretty good plan. But also, here's another thing I kind of thought about shortly before I went on my current walk, my Pokestop walk. I decided that regardless if my friend that I've known since high school, regardless if he wins his election in November or not, a month after election day, which this year it is November 4th. So on December 4th, I will publicly be exploring which one of the three possible positions I would like to run for the next cycle. Starting in the term for the next cycle, next election cycle for 2027, those terms will not begin until January 1st of 2028. And more likely you will be sworn in you'll be sworn in at City Hall. I would presume at noon. So I would have to kind of get a good night's sleep and all that other stuff. Which kind of also leads me to my resignation letter that I kind of started writing to my manager at the hospital. I kind of got it preordained. I mean, I barely pay attention to what's going on in terms of like the city, let alone like state government. But yeah, I know exactly what's going on in like for like Congress, because I follow a lot of Congress. I guys listen to Kansas. You know, carry on my wayward son. You know that song. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Wow, someone engraved that onto the sidewalk. Hard R and everything. God damn. Someone wrote the N-word on the sidewalk. Looks like it's engraved too, and it's the hard R. I just briefly glanced at it like, oh, okay. But, yeah. So I think what I'll do is that I will announce my running. I think it might be best for me to just run for council president. I'll serve for at least that one term. And then we'll kind of just go from there on if I want to be reelected to that position or run for a ward or like an at-large. It's going to be one or the other for either ward or at-large. Although I think at large might be my better option, but I don't know. So, yeah. Did I just initially announce I'm running for city council president for 2027? Did I just seriously announce that right here, right now, on video? I think I might have did. So now it kind of adds and explores a whole bunch of other questions. How would I do it? How would I run? What party would I be on? Do I need to have some kind of like fundraising and all that other stuff? Are there going to be debates? I don't know. We're almost at a point of like uncertainty that I don't know about. Because, well, like how I said, I only really pay attention to national politics. I don't really pay that much attention to local or state politics. Although I've been keeping an eye out on the whole redistricting thing for the the midterms. Good song choice. But yeah, that would probably be one of the pretty cool, I would say it'd be a pretty cool accomplishment for me. Because right now, my greatest accomplishment is not graduating high school, not being an uncle at a very young age. Which, yeah, by the way, I became an uncle when I was 11. Yeah, my first nephew, my oldest nephew, is he is a Gen Zer. My other two nephews, Oliver and Lucas, are Gen Alphas. But on the later side, So yeah, I'm a 3-time uncle. Woo! God, I'm old. I mean, yeah, I'm old. I have no kids. And I was doing okay living on my own. Well, more like with friends. But I decided to move back into my parents. Only because, when the homies decided to move to their current apartment, just literally right outside the hospital, just living in an apartment complex rubbed me the wrong way. Well, to be fair, I've never lived in anything that wasn't a house. So I didn't know what to expect. So I just kind of I was like, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going back to my mom's. And I got everything packed within like a week. And on my next weekend off, I pulled the trigger. Let's do this. And I still promised that I'd pay for everything I promised I would pay. That I was paying on them. Especially like the couch. which is paid off from my understanding. And yeah. But anyways, my biggest accomplishment right now in life is being an Eagle Scout. That is definitely by far my biggest accomplishment. So, when I get, when I get elected, I'll be in my full suit, tie, vest, whatever. I'll be in my best clothes. And I'll have my Eagle medals somewhere on the jacket as I, take the oath of office. I don't know what it is. I don't know what exactly the oath of office will be, but I want someone to record it for me. I want pictures, and I want pictures of me being sworn in, and I want the video of the moments of being sworn in. That way I can put it out on the internet and be like, hey guys, check this out. I'm now a politician. Now what I don't know is that I don't know if there's any protocol when it comes to wearing your Eagle medal on like a suit jacket that's not a Class A uniform. I don't know if there's any protocol for that, so I'll have to do some research on it. I mean, yeah, if I have the medal, wear it, be proud, Me being an Eagle Scout is one of the greatest achievements and one of the biggest moments of my life. I mean, other than, the regular, graduating high school or graduating college or buying your first house, buying a home, having your first child. It's one of those moments that you just don't ever forget in your life. Something's happening at the OK.
Wait. Oh, hey, whoa.
Cinnamon. I like cinnamon. Is this cinnamon? I don't like cinnamon. Yeah, it's not cinnamon.
Oh, God. That feedback. Alright, what the hell's going on here? Redoing. Oh, I see. I see what they're doing. They're redoing the parking lot, I guess, huh? But, yeah. So, yeah, I will. So, here's what I'll do. December 4th, I will go up to the County Board of Elections. Hopefully it's not during, that's not a weekend. If it is on a weekend, then I'll go to the closest weekday, whether it be a Friday or a Monday, either the Friday before or a Monday after, if it is on a weekend. But I will go up to the Board of Elections and I will go up to them and ask them a bunch of questions, and I'll be like, hey, is it too early for me to announce my candidacy for a government position for the next cycle? Because I want to jump on it as soon as I possibly can. And then that way, I can be like, alright, and then if they're like, kinda, but what position would you like to run for? I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'll be like, I would like to put in my candidacy for city council president for 2027. I'm like, okay. God damn, my ear was almost shot. Just based on how loud that was. Oh man, there's a dead squirrel in the road. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of questions for them, and hopefully they can answer them all for me, because I would like that very much. So December 4th is when I'm going to officially begin my campaign for the next cycle. Because I know the main thing is that you have to know exactly what you're running for and what you're going to be doing. And from what I gather, president of the council is just primarily a figurehead. And is just a presiding officer of the council. So cool. I think I can officially announce that. Now, not a whole lot of people know that I want to but you know. So alright. So yeah. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a video. That way I can get some stuff kind of figured out. And I'm glad I got this walk done, because I do have to work tonight, and I figured, you know, I haven't gone on my actual quote-unquote walk for a while. And yeah. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next time with whatever comes out. All right, bye.